Welcome to Hotspur Primary School and Year 5. Yeah! Now, I'm Dominic Wilcox and I am an artist, designer and inventor. And I was actually born here in the Northeast. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what inventions the children of the North and here in Year 5 can come up with. So I'm going to show you some of my little inventions at the moment. Not little, actually, these are some big ones. Let's see. Oh, so this one here is a stained glass driverless sleeper car. That's me sleeping in the car. And this is on 4 wheels with just a bed inside. So you can go to sleep and you tell the car where you want to go and the car will take you wherever you want to go. This was my idea for the future. This was, I said, for the year 2059. Now, we're going to ask you to come up with the year 2030. And these ones here are some shoes with GPS inside, so like sat-nav. So you tell the shoes where you want to go on the map, and then you press upload to shoes, so the shoes know where you want to go, and then the left shoe points in the direction of your destination, and the right shoe has a little progress bar with little lights at the bottom that tell you how close you're getting to your destination. So these are some of my inventions.
So I'm going to welcome you to Hotspur. Welcome to Hotspur. My name's Miles Wallace-Clark. I'm the head teacher here of all these wonderful, lovely children. And we're just very excited about the Great Exhibition of the North. It's a great opportunity to find out about our heritage, but more importantly, to look forwards. And it's very exciting that our children are going to have that opportunity to see all those wonderful things that are going to be here, but also that the rest of the country and the rest of the world is going to see what a wonderful place we live in and how inventive we are. And that's why this project is so exciting, because it's all about harnessing our children's innovativeness, their creativity, their knowledge of science and technology and maths, but also their knowledge of people and what it is that will make life better for people, because that's what the inventions are going to be about. And we're just really thrilled to have Dominic here, because he's a world-renowned inventor, but he kind of straddles all that creative STEM stuff and culture and creativity. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm going to hand over to Dominic and Lucy now.
So my name's Lucy, I work for the Great Exhibition of the North. You might have heard a little bit about the Great Exhibition of the North. It's going to be the biggest event in England in 2018. It's going to happen here in Newcastle Gateshead from the 22nd of June to the 9th of September, so all the way through the summer holidays. We want to show the world that the north of England is where the coolest technology, the smartest design and the most beautiful art is coming from. We're featuring exhibits from the whole of the north of England, so from Hull to Liverpool, all the way up to the Scottish borders. And we're really excited to tell the story of the people who are making the north great. So from all sorts of different people, artists, scientists, musicians, designers, engineers. I think there's even an astronaut in there somewhere.
Teachers.
Obviously teachers, and also everybody else. Today we're going to be looking at inventors. So this is your chance to get involved. You can visit the exhibition with your school or family when it opens on the 22nd of June. You can take part in your school. We're going to have some lesson resources up on the website, and you can take part in the North 2030 Challenge. The North 2030 Challenge is where we want you to help us solve the big and the little problems of the future, to make life better or more fun. So you're the people that are going to be designing the things for tomorrow. You can share your ideas on the Little Inventors website, and the top 5, the 5 most ingenious, most brilliant ideas are going to be made real by makers, designers, artists, professional people whose job it is to design things. And then they're going to be put into the Discovery Museum for the entire of the Great Exhibition. We're expecting to see 3 million people come and visit the Great Exhibition of the North, and that's their opportunity to see your designs during the exhibition. So it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for everyone to see how brilliant your little brains are. So let's find out a little bit more from Dominic. How did you become an inventor?
Well, I was quite good at art, at drawing, and I I didn't really work out that I was going to be an inventor until later on in school, a bit later than you. So you're early now. You can start before me. You've got a head start. And I really like drawing things, and I like coming up with ideas and looking around at the world around us and thinking of ideas to make it more fun or more surprising or to help people.
Fab. Why did you want to be part of the Great Exhibition of the North?
Well, I know that the north of England is actually famous for inventors. But for many, many years, there's been famous engineers who've done things like on the railways, Stephenson's rocket, for example. And so I think the children of the North have got a natural talent for inventing. And so I'm really interested to find out what great ideas the children of the North and Year 5 here can come up with.
Fab. How do you think the North can be different in 2030?
Well, no one knows exactly how the North is going to be different in 2030. We're all trying to imagine what it's going to be like. So one way you can think about it is you can look to the past, and then you can look to now and see what's the difference, and then think about, well, if that amount of change happens by 2030, what will life and the world and the North be like then? So think about how old you'll be in 2030 and try to imagine what the North will be like. How will we travel? How will we have fun? What will we wear? What sort of new technology will there be? What new ideas? And then that's a good starting point to start thinking of new inventions.
You mentioned what we wear. What do you think about smart clothes or wearables? I've heard a bit about those in the news.
Yeah, so smart clothes or wearables are, instead of just normal clothes that we're wearing, they actually integrate technology or gadgets. So they make clothes useful. So for example, my GPS shoes was putting some technology to make the shoes more useful than just covering your feet. They actually show you where to go. So that was my idea. This little boy was age 6. This is Griff. And he has asthma, you know, when you cough, and you don't like pollution. So he wanted an anti-pollution jacket. So this actually goes over the hood, goes over the head and zips up, and there are some filters for pollution here, and so it can breathe through here. So he did a drawing just like this, and then we worked with a local maker who made it into a real thing. So that's an idea of thinking about clothes, but that solve a problem. So that's one example of wearable technology.
Fab. So that's a really, really useful one for solving problems, but how are people going to have fun in the future?
Yeah, so, well, think about what do you enjoy doing? And if there were no limits and anything was possible, what sort of things would you like to do in the future in 2030? So it can be really simple ideas. It doesn't have to involve technology. It can be just easy ideas like this young person came up with this idea, which is you can take these shapes off and you can place them on your shoes in different positions, and then when you go walking on the sand on the beach, it leaves patterns in the sand. A really clever idea. So this was done by just a simple drawing, like we're going to ask all of you to do, and then I actually made these ones. So I was the maker for these ones. So I made this into a real thing. But there are many different ways we can have fun. It can be a huge idea. It could be a huge playground, or it could be a tiny little small idea. It's completely up to you. It could be crazy. I hope it's crazy, in fact. The crazier the idea, the better.
So why do you think children make good inventors?
Well, I think children are the best inventors. I think children, like you, are the most creative minds and the most imaginative minds in the world. Because the adults, they start to get worried about, thinking, that's impossible, or that's too difficult. And their ideas start to get a little bit smaller. While I think your ideas are big. And you don't have to worry about, is it impossible or possible? Don't worry about how it can be made. That's our problem. Your ideas can be completely fantastical, huge or tiny, really microscopic. There are no limits on the ideas, and I think you can come up with some brilliant ideas.
Fab. So I think some of Year 5 have actually already come up with some ideas. So I think, do we have some questions maybe? Or
We're maybe going to look at Will's.
Oh,
Will's going to maybe show. He's actually got a prototype in today.
Okay, Will.
So it's...
Wait a minute, I'll go over.
Stand up, Will.
Okay.
So it's a camping stove that can do different things. So the gas bottle lid can flip up and become a small toaster, and then there's a warming tray, and then there's a frying pan that slots into it. And if you take the warming tray out and put the frying pan in, it becomes a small pizza oven. And then it's just helping you things that you can't eat when you're camping.
Fantastic. So you are a camper.
Yeah.
And so you looked at camping and thought, what do I need? And then came up with this invention. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant because it does many different things in one, which is a great idea. And it's a nice model as well. So you can make prototypes and models with cardboard, and it helps you think about the idea. So you can maybe you can say, oh well, it's a bit too big, it's a bit too small, or I need to change this bit, or I could add this bit, and it gives you even more ideas. So first you do the drawing, and then we do the invention, like this brilliant one. Thank you.
I think Maria might have had some questions. Would you like to ask one of your questions, Maria?
What is your favourite invention from like the ones that you've made?
The ones that, what's my favourite invention of what I've made? Yeah. I made a bin, a kitchen bin. Do you know the ones where you put your foot on it and the lid opens? And I made that into an automatic playing xylophone. So when you pressed the lid, the lid opened and a little metal ball got released at the back, and then it was like a helter-skelter of xylophone pieces, and the ball tripped down the xylophone and made a little tune as it went down. So that was one of my favourite inventions.
Fab. Is there any more questions for anywhere else? Yeah. Oh.
Where were you when you invented the robot spoon?
The robot spoon. Yes, I did a robot spoon which has got two eyes and it looks around, and when you eat, it wakes up. So it's at first it's asleep, and every time you get energy from your cereal, the little spoon starts to wake up. I called it Alan. Where was I? I was in my house, and I just ate some cereal, and I thought, I sometimes forget to have breakfast because I'm so busy, and then I feel a bit weak during the day. So I needed something to remind myself to start eating my cereal. So I invented Alan, the robot spoon, to remind me to eat my cereal.
Fantastic. I think we've got another one there.
What was your first invention?
What was my first invention? My first invention was a bed in the shape of me asleep. So I was sleeping like this on my side, and then the mattress, I made a new mattress in the exact shape of my body. So it wasn't a big rectangle, it was just in the shape of me sleeping, because when you're asleep, you only really need the mattress underneath your sleeping body. You don't need the whole rectangle. So that was a sort of crazy invention.
I've got a question. How do you actually come up with your ideas? Because I feel like I'm not very imaginative. How do you actually just think of them?
Well, there are many different ways. I sometimes sit with my pen and paper and sketchbook, and I think, and I'll write some words, lots of words around the subject that I'm trying to think of an invention for. And I will draw things just normal things around the subject of the invention you're trying to find. So if it's clothing, drawing different types of clothing. And then maybe you change the clothing. Maybe you do some crazy clothing. It might give you an idea. So it's just trying to help your brain get into the imagination outside of your normal way of thinking, which is just normal clothes. We're going to find some new type of clothes. Or transport, draw some types of transport, write some words down about different types of transport. So it helps you start to think on the subject, and then you can start to think, well, how can we do something completely different that I've never seen before?
Fab. You've brought some things with you on here. Did you want to tell us a little bit more about what these are?
Yeah, here's some examples of ideas that children had. They did a drawing, they sent it in to Little Inventors, just like you're going to do. And, well, here's a couple of ideas. This one was, this is for transport. This was a drawing of a scooter, and when you hold the handlebars, it's got some nail clippers. So as you scoot, it clips your nails. It's a sort of multi-use scooter. This one was a house. This is a house. A big bird house with some ladders up, and there's people living inside. So that would be an interesting, maybe in the future people live in big birds. We don't know, they could. And this one was an idea for a, I think it was a children's playground idea, slide, rainbow. So I really liked the drawing. It was a really nice, colourful drawing. It's always good to do big drawings with lots of colour and add labels, add the arrows saying what things are on your drawing sheets. And this one here is a hat. This one's from a little girl who had this invention idea, and the idea was it's a secret place for sweets. So you can close it, and then you can open it up, reach down, and you can get a sweet out of your hat and nibble it while no one knows. So this was, and you've got a big hat. But yes, so it's all sorts of ideas. This idea was a little girl in Sunderland said she can't get a hand down to the bottom of the Pringles tub, so she invented a spoon thing to lift up the Pringles out like that to make it easier. And these ones were from a young inventor who said when it gets slippy with the mud, when you're outside and it's slippy, you could pull this and these spikes come out. Can you see? Or you can pull it and you can hide them away. So that was an invention, and we worked with a watchmaker who spent 80 hours making this into a real thing. So we're going to make 5 of your invention, the best ideas that get entered into the Great Exhibition of the North will be made by an expert maker.
Fab. Okay, I think we might possibly have time for 2 more questions, I think. Is any, or maybe if someone wants to show us their ideas so far, maybe? Who do we think?
A lot of thought that, because I like Spider-Man a lot, I thought that it would be cool if that somebody could make a Spider-Man suit that climbs up to 5 meters high and it shoots webs.
Okay, so you like Spider-Man, and you thought it would be a good idea to make a real Spider-Man suit, and the hands would shoot webs.
And
Well,
the dots on the hands and the sticky bits.
Ah, yes.
And then they shoot the webs.
Okay, the dots on the hands of the sticky bits, and it also shoots the webs. Well, it would be great to, because we all love Spider-Man, and it would be great to make it real. And it might be, I think it would be possible. It's good to draw it down, and we'll see how it goes. But great idea, well done.
They have sticky bits as well.
Oh, the sticky fits on the feet, well done.
We've got another one here just from this young lady here. Do you want to explain what your design is?
It's a everlasting batteries and unbreakable toy car.
Oh, everlasting batteries. Well, that's a good idea because saving energy and batteries always running down. We have to charge them up with electricity and use lots of electricity. So to come up with an idea for everlasting batteries, that would be great. And it's an indestructible car because toy cars do get destroyed quite often, don't they? So this is a great idea. Nice drawing, lots of labelling. I like that. Great.
Fab. Take this one. Come here. Come through. Right, okay. So that looks like a safety watch.
Yeah.
Is this a safety watch? What is it? Hold it up to everybody to show.
Let's have a look this way.
It scans for anything unsafe, so you scan something with the little button there on top of the watch, and it scans for, if you scan something, it'll scan anything unsafe for it, and it will tell you anything unsafe.
Okay.
To prevent people from having bad injuries and stuff like that or dying.
Ah, so it's a safety
And
watch.
if you scan yourself, you'll know if you have a disease.
Wow. Well, that's good. That's going to be a very valuable piece of equipment. That's wearable technology. Well done. Okay.
Anyone got one last question for Dominic?
One last question for Dominic.
I'll let you pick.
Go on then.
Always wanted to invent it, or did you gradually just get interested in inventing things?
I think I gradually got so the question was, did I always want to be an inventor? And I think I gradually got into it. So I liked drawing and I liked thinking of ideas and I liked telling my friends ideas. They didn't have to be inventions. It could just be different ideas about the world or about people or life. And then, I started to draw some of my ideas and they were drawn as normal objects, but with a little clever thing about them. And I would just draw them and I would just show them to my friends and they liked them. So then I showed them to more friends and then I showed them to more. Then I showed them to the whole world and they still liked them. So you can just start with a sheet of paper and an idea and it's amazing how much you can do.
How do you know that the ideas that you come up with are good? You must have some duff ones.
Yeah, how do you know that ideas are good? Well, you don't really. But I think it's good to have you confident. You have to be confident to have an idea, even if you think it might be a crazy idea, draw it down and show it to people. Because, if people enjoy it, if they laugh and smile about it, then you've done a good thing. So it's difficult to know if you've come up with a great idea or not. Hopefully, it's something that doesn't already exist, so it's a new thing. That would be a good thing. If you can come up with an idea that you haven't seen, that would be brilliant. But it can be a funny idea, it can be completely crazy, or it can be a practical idea that's really going to help people and make the world and make the North a better place.
Cool. And what advice would you give to little inventors that are entering the challenge?
Well, what advice I would give is to, we've created lots of resources. So resources are what you can download. So if you're listening at home, so teachers and parents and students can download the resources. So this is basically things to help you think. Ideas to help you thinking on the subject of the future of the North in 2030. You can download them at getnorth.littleinventors.org. That's getnorth.littleinventors.org. The entries for this competition, or this challenge, are to be in by the 16th of March. So we haven't got long, so you can come up with more than one idea. So if you've come up with one, if I was doing it, I would do 20, but that's me. So do as many as you want, and I can't wait to see what brilliant inventions you've got.
Okay. Right, well, thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to stay here at Hotspur Primary School and find out a little bit more about their inventions, but thank you very much for listening about the Great Exhibition in the North.
Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Thank you.